Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another Sims Info and Thoughts video. So, the update that is coming tomorrow for free for all players for The Sims 4 has been announced, so let's go through what is actually coming, because there is more than what was initially teased, just as I hoped. So, let's get right into it. The Sims tweeted bunk beds, trait improvements, improved console textures. The Sims 4 update goes live tomorrow, March 23rd at 10 AM Pacific time for all players. Which bunk are you fighting for? The top bunk or the bottom? I personally would go for the top, because if I want to sleep on the bottom, I would just sleep in a regular old bed. But then they followed up saying SimGuru Bat and SimGuru Azure are excited to walk you through tomorrow's update. Tune in March 23rd at 11 AM Pacific time for another Inside Maxis on twitch.tv/The Sims to learn more on the latest updates and what's coming in The Sims 4. Sparkly stars! So that's interesting. It seems like they're possibly implying that they might reveal a bit more about what is coming to The Sims 4 beyond tomorrow's game update. Because with the previous Inside Maxis livestream, that's when they did that big reveal at the end where they teased bunk beds. So are they gonna do that again, but maybe it'll be improved babies? Or maybe I can finally stop begging for cars? Maybe we'll finally get those, but nah, it's probably not going to be another one of those really big requests this soon. So I'm not counting on there being any sort of big mic drop this time around, because I'm not sure if that's going to be a guarantee every time they do an Inside Maxis live stream. But let's take a closer look at the picture that they tweeted. So there's the bunk bed almost right in the middle, and there is a child climbing up the ladder. So don't worry, they're not going to just teleport into the bunk beds unless that ends up being some kind of glitch. But yeah, there is supposed to be a ladder animation, and there's another child reading on the bottom bunk. And what I find interesting about this object is that it uses designs from two different base game beds instead of it just being the same one, because the one that we had in the silhouette looked like it was just the Parenthood single bed turned into a bunk bed with both the top and bottom bunk being of the same design. There's two possibilities I can think of here. The first being that we are actually able to make just any bed we want in the game into a bunk bed, and we can even mix and match the designs if we'd like. Or we're getting a loft bed that we can easily slot a bed underneath. The latter, I think, is a little bit more possible, because there was that hint in the tweet that I showcased last night that we are very likely getting loft beds, so I guess this could be their way of fitting both bunk beds and loft beds into the same update, instead of separating them out and having to wait even longer for the loft bed option. One thing I've seen other people pointing out on Twitter is that this girl's hair has been updated, because for comparison, we have this tweet from Shaded Plum Bob, saying, if you're wondering, this is what it looks like as of right now. Credit to the Sims wiki. And even with the low quality zoom in, I can tell that the hair in the Maxis screenshot is already a lot better looking and more realistic than what it is right now. We knew that there were going to be more hairstyles updated in the base game in the future, but besides the really big afro, we weren't sure of which ones exactly. So it is good to see more of the kids' hairstyles being updated too, not just the ones for teens and older. Of course, we have to also speculate about what trait improvements could mean. We did not know that this was coming, but I'm really glad that it is, because I've seen so many people asking for a traits overhaul, and I can't help but wonder what this could mean, because trait overhaul, or trait improvement as it said in the tweet, is quite a general statement. So are we just going to have the ability to assign more traits out of cast, because I would love to have 4 trait slots for adults, or even 5 like we did in The Sims 3. Or is it just that certain buffs are going to get boosted by traits? Or is it going to be something more interesting than that? I did download this trait overhaul mod by Bien Chen pretty recently. It's interesting, even though I haven't seen that much difference in my gameplay yet. But it says for the description, this mod tweaks the existing traits to make them more meaningful. Sims will do better or worse in certain / all careers, at school and or at university based on their traits. Traits will also influence autonomy and skill gain. They will moreover affect how well 2 Sims will get along with other Sims. This will also be affected by the other Sims' mood and or age. Some of the negative moodlets have been doubled to make them more visible. Positive and negative trait moodlets may affect how fast your Sims gain skills / relationships in either direction. Sims with certain traits will get more aspiration points from fulfilling whims. Traits will also or may affect reading and crafting speed. So I would not be surprised if this free update included at least some of the things from this trait overhaul mod. I also want to bring up once again one of the surveys that we had early last year that was talking about potential gameplay ideas for The Sims 4, and there are some personality-driven ones here, like consequences of making or breaking relationships, connections to family members outside of the household, being born with traits, control of Sims that are not currently on the active lot, developing traits over time, short-term desires, long-term desires, emotions, and family evolution outside the household. Actually, that last one sounds pretty story progression-ish, but yeah, I think a few of those could end up being in this update, especially being born with traits and developing traits over time. I mean, with parenthood, there's already the character values that you can have with children and teenagers, and then once they grow up into young adults, then they can unlock traits that way. So yeah, that one especially I can imagine being likely. One last thing worth mentioning is that in the tweet, they said improved console textures, not just the skin tones, so it does sound like a more general overhaul rather than, yeah, just the skin tones that should have been fixed a long time ago. So I'm interested in seeing how that's gonna go. It's probably going to be mainly for the next-gen consoles. That seems to make the most sense to me. And that wraps up another Sims info and thoughts video, so feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about tomorrow's free update, and be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with my latest gaming content, including life simulations and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!